Hey guys, I'm making this video to help people control their finances a little bit better. So basically, if you have never tried to control your finances before, this video may really help you. So first of all, what you want to do is you're going to have to be very Spartan in your life, so you've got to be dedicated to it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go through your bank records for the last couple of months and find every single thing that is an outgoing payment. You want to completely stop all outgoing payments that aren't necessary. So subscriptions to service like Netflix, subscriptions to things like Amazon Prime, you're going to want to get rid of absolutely every single one of those things. So that will basically cut out your outgoings, which means that at the end of the month you're going to be earning more money. And this is what we are aiming to do. You're going to have to live a bit of a Spartan lifestyle, so what you're going to want to do is cut down completely on all of the luxury items that you normally have. If you're like me, you like Cokes, energy drinks, things like that. If you are like me, you're a vapor, you want to cut everything like that out of your life, because all of this stuff builds up and it's actually taking away from what you're bringing home every single month. So you're going to need to cut absolutely every single thing out that you do not need to survive. So you pay your rent, you pay your insurance, you pay like your electricity, gas, all of those different utilities that you use, pay your internet, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to debts, if you're in debt, you want to keep paying that debt off. All right. The main thing when you're dealing with debts is you want to pay them off as quickly as possible so that they do not keep chunking you every single month. You need to get rid of that problem so that you've got more income at the end of the month. So actually what we're aiming to do is we're aiming to just earn more money every single month. And the less you rely on all of the different luxuries that basically make your life a super happy place, the easier it will be to kind of move forwards and do things really well. Now, if you've got any apps that you used in order to help yourself with financial planning and things. So for example, something where you can buy something over 3 months, you never want to do that. You never want to buy a product on finance. You never want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to have debt that is going to build up in the background. What you need to do is have a complete and total control over all of that sort of thing. If you want something, you save up, you buy it when you need it. And the thing is, if you save up in this way, you can decide whether or not you really need it. So you actually look at the item, and instead of being like, oh, I can get this now, this is great. Oh, I can get this on deal, this is great. Don't think about that kind of thing. You don't need to get something when it immediately appears. And believe me, I'm one of these people who is a compulsive consumer. I basically used to buy things randomly just because I felt like I needed them at the time. But it was actually by starting to save up for cameras, things like that, camera lenses. I've spent a lot on cameras over the years. By doing that and having a goal in mind, it's really helpful. So this is a thing. This is a thing which is really good. One of the things that helps me save money is I do not have a car. I rely completely on public transport. And a lot of people will say, well, doesn't that cost a lot of money? Yes, it does. But I'm only using it when I need it. I'm not having to pay insurance on that. I'm not having to pay for petrol. I'm not having to pay for repairs. So there are a large amount of ways that I save by not having a car. So it's very beneficial to me not to do that. And if I ever really need to go and travel somewhere else in the world, it's not that expensive because I can just get a taxi down to a port, get on a boat and go over. I'm absolutely terrified of flight, by the way. But when it comes down to it, if you have a large amount of control over the money that's going out of your account, that means that at the end of the day, you're going to be earning the maximum that you can earn from work each month. Now, I like to set myself ridiculous goals. You know I'm not a driver. When I was trying to save up a long time ago, what I did is I decided that I would fall in love with cars as an idea. And I would think to myself, well, I'm going to buy myself one of these Lamborghini Countach cars because I thought, oh, damn, they look really nice. So all the time I'd work extra and I'd take as many jobs on as possible just so that I could save up for this car that I couldn't even use. And that was my goal. I would put it out for something that I wasn't even able to use. And because the price was so high on it, I was just focusing on earning that money. And because that was my goal, at the end of the day, I could step back and I could say, okay, well, I've got a load of money now. I can use this for whatever I want. So by having a goal in mind for this kind of thing, you can you can push beyond the boundaries which are normally going to keep you restricted. Because the thing is, a lot of the time you get suckered into the mindset of basically, I'm just going to work enough to survive and basically live my life. You get up, you work, you earn your money. But if you've got better control over the money that is You've got control over the money that's going out of your account by cutting off all of the things that you don't need, all of the unnecessary monsters which are going to come up and bite you in the ass. If you can control that, that's really, really good, because that means that you are actually being paid more at the end of the month. And that's what we want, ultimately. The fact of the matter is, why go and get another job which is going to pay you more money when you can increase the money that you've got, that you've got coming in, and then you can go and get a job for more money. So you're practically tripling your income. The fact of the matter is, when you think about it like this, you realise actually life is survivable. The problem is with life is we have all of these different microtransactions, small amounts of money coming out of our account. We don't think about 50p here, £2.50 here, £10 here. We don't think about that kind of money that's going out all the time. We get used to paying it. And because we live on trained behaviour, we just think, oh, it's great that I've got Netflix. But it's like when I actually looked at it back when I was actually paying for a lot of these services, I wasn't using the service at barely any time at all. I would watch like films on one of these platforms like maybe twice to three times a month, and it's like, is that really worth it? I mean, I could have just bought the DVDs, I'd be able to watch them later. So the fact of the matter is, if you're not using the services, and if you're used to using the service all the time and you're just sitting there watching the television, this is not beneficial. You know, there are many ways that you can earn money outside of your work as well. You could start a side hustle, God knows what else. But the fact of the matter is, if you have got more money coming in, you've got more money to start something like that. You can spend money to make money rather than spending money to just vegetate. So it's like one of the things that I tend to do a lot is I like to study. I study all of the time. I'm constantly reading up on things. I'm learning about all of the different things I need to do to make my business actually go up and earn. So when I'm thinking about these kind of things, it's like I don't have time for any of this nonsense, which is basically holding me back. And yet, I can still, at the end of the day, put my feet up, relax, and just watch Rick and Morty and just be happy. And that's great. But the key to starting something like this out is you can afford luxuries when you've got money to burn. That's great. And I've got money to burn now when it comes down to it, so I can afford living at a slightly different level. But the important thing is, when you're somebody who's really, really struggling in the world, let's say you've got kids, you've got a lot of things to do, you've got a lot of priorities, cutting down and cutting off from all of the stuff that you desperately do not need in your life. It's like me, I love a bottle of Captain Morgan's, I also love Smirnoff, but the fact of the matter is, do they help me in my life? No. They help me a little bit with my pain, that's about it. But do I need them? Do I desperately need them? No. And when it comes down to it, if I'm not buying two bottles of alcohol a month, call that 40 quid, right? If I'm not buying that every single month, if I'm not buying my energy drinks, that's another 90 quid in a month. If I'm not buying my vapes, that's 140 quid. This is like, how many work shifts is that? You know, it's like all of these different things that are adding up, they're taking out of the account. If I'm not paying for Amazon, which I'm not using, if I'm not paying for Netflix, if I'm not paying for Disney Plus, if I'm not paying for all of these different things, how much money am I earning? Well, I'm at the end of the month when I come out of it. If I look at it and I say, well, at the start, before I started this process, I was taking in like £120 a month, you know, and I had money to do a couple of other things. Cut Deliveroo out of my life, cut Just Eat out of my life. Oh my God! All of a sudden, I've got like £400, £500 at the end of the month. I'm starting to earn profit now. This is really, really good. So that's like 5 months worth of profit. Bam, and done, dusted, easy, right? I can afford to do a lot more now. So the fact of the matter is, by cutting everything off apart from the things you absolutely need, you can do more with your life. Anyway, I've ranted for long enough. Hope the video helps, and definitely go through, cut all of your profits off, and see how much you save by the end of the first month. Live another month like that. Live another month like that. And the good thing is, when you're cutting off from so many different things, different addictions like sugar, smoking, all sorts of things, alcohol, anything that's got any sort of grasp or control over you, if you're cutting off from a lot of that at the same time, you're actually saving yourself so much in terms of your ability to do things. It's like you'll be able to learn a little bit, study a little bit, start doing the things that you really want to do with your life. And because you've got more free time, because you're not For example, let's say you're somebody who really likes to just binge watch series. I'm a binge watcher, but I set a time aside, so I've got like a holiday to do that every now and then. So I take maybe 2 days off and I just sit back, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's great, it's wonderful, and I can just enjoy that. But I've actually got the ability to do that because I'm not doing it every single day. The thing is, the more you free your life up, the more you get control over everything. Never get yourself into debt. Any debts you've got, pay them off, because they're money that's going out every month. The best thing you can do in your life is to cut all of your debts down to absolutely nothing. If you've got no debts, no control over you, you're not taking out any loans, all of your loans, everything like that's paid off, you do not have all of those expenses every single month. And the thing is, these are problems which compound in the background, because you end up having to pay a lot more if you're buying stuff on finance, you're paying loans and things like that, than you would have if you just saved up for the things that you need. And if you control your life like this, it is making everything a lot easier for you to actually buy the things that you need. Let's say you want to start a business venture, well, you can just whap your capital out because you've saved up. And this is great. So try and control your life, make things better, and work on yourself. It is such a beneficial thing to do. I mean, yeah, don't do it until the point where you go prematurely bald, but you get what I'm saying, hopefully. And I hope this will really help you. Anyway, have a lovely day, and thanks for joining me. I don't generally do this kind of video on my channel, but I'm thinking of doing a couple of more like this. I do mainly marketing stuff, which is really, really boring. But hey, if you're starting your own business, you know, hopefully I've got a lot of stuff here that will help you. Anyway, take care. Bye.